Who am I? Sino nga ba ako? It's easy to get stuck in uncertainty and fear. It's been so hard for everyone this year. The present-day realities have made us believe that the future holds nothing to look forward to. Now more than ever is the time to acknowledge our multifaceted strengths. When we boldly answer, I am, to the question, who am I? We're calling out to an explosion of beautiful affirmations about ourselves that we need to be reminded of so we can move forward with our inner compass directing us towards our ultimate goal, joy. The BDJ 2022 Power Planner is an invitation to show up and trust in the soulful alignment of yourself and of your dreams. BDJ will be here with you as you intuitively recognize and continue growing your greatness.
Sometimes it feels like every time we attempt to take a step forward, we find ourselves 2 steps back. Life may seem like an uphill battle, and the past may have felt limiting. If we consider the present to be a gift, though, then it's not just about the destination, is it? For 2022, Navi will help you embrace your adaptability and resilience. Now, we don't make you imagine what this uphill staircase looks like. We show you. Take an adventure from right where you are. Explore the present as you navigate your life guided by the compass of your own truths, values, and your unique journey to where you're meant to be. Experience Navi in a whole new way.
How is everything possible in a world full of uncertainty? Imagine the moon and how it embodies inspiration, renewal, and unwavering energy. Haven't you been waiting for the right time? The time when you can finally stop feeling like a victim and start living the life that you want. It's not too late. Just as the moon transitions, you will too. And for 10 years now, the Everything is Possible Journal has been helping people achieve their big and small goals. EIP approaches 2022 with a promise of renewal. Experience the 2022 Everything is Possible Journal shine on you like the light of the moon.
Hello, good evening, everyone. It's the fourth Wednesday, last Wednesday of the month, and it is our partnership with MindNation. So, welcome, everyone. Welcome, good evening, and I'm excited to continue on with this with our partner from MindNation, Cat. So every Wednesday we do this every month so that we can do our monthly health check-ins. And this month is the financial literacy month, so we'll be talking about a very very practical topic. So bring my partner in crime, Kat Triviño from MindNation.
Partner in crime talaga. Hi, Dar. Good
Hello.
evening, and good evening to everyone that's joining us on the stream from the MindNation page and from the BDJ pages. Hello,
Yes.
hello.
Mm-hmm.
Dar, you're correct. As you all know, BDJ and MindNation we've been making these live streams, these amazing live streams for like the whole year, and we want to do this to raise awareness, to take
Correct.
care of our mental health. And we learned that there are different dimensions, the different aspects of mental health. Last month, we had such an amazing discussion on therapy and what to expect with therapy. And I'm thinking, because of the engagement that we had there, we probably should do another session with Luis Villaruel and Coach MC, our mental health advocates. But you're right, Tara, this month we will be talking about money. how this affects our mental health, and how to get started with our own finance journey. Before I move forward, before we get bring in our amazing guest, I want to ask you,
Yeah.
This is our new version of the check-in for this special shocker for
Okay,
you.
okay.
What's your relationship with money? How did you grow up? Um, how was money taught to you growing up?
Um I guess money as a conversation, it's not usually talked about. But siguro growing up, in our family, I was always really taught talaga. Kaya super independent na we can't count on anyone. Like that's
Mm,
part of our mental model. Kasi parang in our family, I guess in our clan, parang we're not one of the, parang in the Chinese setting, merong
oh,
hierarchy and a traditional. Eh, since my dad is not one of the eldest, parang it's not like the favored position. So in
right.
general, parang, di ba, parang may mga ganyan-ganyan. Very, very traditional, di ba? So parang we were really taught growing up by my parents na, okay, can't count on anything. It's really on
Right.
you. You have to work hard, study, do all of these things so that it will be on you. In terms of money, there's not much money conversation, so I'm not so sure like exactly what it is, but I mean in terms of my relationship with it, but I guess in a way we've been lucky enough na parang at least yung age ko na meron pang money yung family namin. Parang meron pang money na to be, I mean, for me to enjoy. It was more on when I was in college, my siblings were having a hard time.
Mm,
But it was me, it started talaga na I took up accountancy. That was my course in college. So, in a way, I'd like to think I'm good in managing
right. I didn't know
money,
you took up
but
accountancy.
yeah, but because of that, na parang meron akong brainwashing, my mindset, my mind modeling or whatever, that everything is parang you have to kayod and hirap. Meron din akong impact on that on money. Na parang money is not given. It's really something you work hard and parang it won't fall into your lap. So I guess that's my relationship. It's not a good or bad relationship. It's just
No,
that
no.
it is what it is. Parang ganon. How
Right.
about you? How about you?
Well, Filipinas, ang ano naman namin, ang version, we're not Chinese, obviously. But ang Filipino version naman namin is because we are such a big family. Grew up with four other siblings. We're seven total. And the way that I had learned about money is also the same way. It requires a lot of hard work, and you need to constantly kayod. If you want something, work hard for it. And
Mhm.
because I was the eldest, it's not also a favorite position if you're Filipino. Because I was the eldest,
Oo,
ang
ikaw in charge, ikaw lahat.
exactly, exactly. And I had
Mhm.
felt na I need to set a good example for my siblings. And that if I want something, if I wanted something, I'd have to think about them also. My parents, syempre they treat us every now and then. But then, like, if, for example, I wanted a doll, I'd have to consider, oh, then we need to give all your siblings dolls too. Then we need to do this also. So if I wanted something solely for myself, I have to earn it. And growing up, I kept that mindset. So thinking about money and thinking about my allowance, but I never really asked for allowance, and so
Mhm.
ang ang thought process ko is I'll I'll earn money, I'll work hard so that I can enjoy it no matter what. And lately ko lang na-realize when I started moving and living in my on my own, na parang, oh my goodness, I need to save. Because I've always had that mindset that this is my money, I'm gonna do whatever I want to do with it. And it's
Mhm.
not also a good or bad thing, but at some point you're gonna have to realize you need some sort of safety net,
Mhm.
because a lot of our mental health problems can also stem from financial worries, diba? And we felt that during the
Definitely.
pandemic.
Definitely. I think ano talaga, it can trigger a lot of anxiety. because it
Mhm.
parang it affects kasi 'di ba in the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the baseline, your foundation, your basic needs are not being met. And
Yeah,
money, 'di ba, as a fact din is part of what will help you get your basic needs.
agree.
So definitely parang financial well-being and freedom is interconnected, and that's why people also talk about, I want to be financially free so I don't have to worry about bills and so on. So that's why I guess tonight it's very important that we are joined by an expert, financial expert tonight,
Yes.
a licensed financial advisor and the founder of Financial Literacy PH, an online community dedicated to be talking about all things finance. So the online community has nearly 36,000 members. Amazing. So everyone, let us all welcome Enery Franklin Dy. Come on in, Enery.
Hi, guys. Thank you, Dar.
Hello.
Thank you, Kat.
Good evening.
Good
Thank you
evening.
so much for joining us. How are you doing? How are you doing
Yeah,
this
okay
lovely?
naman. Nag-early dinner na, no? Shout out lang muna ako sa ano, no, bago pa mag-start, shout out na agad ako dun
Go.
sa pinsan ko, no, si Jacqueline. Jacqueline nag-invite sa akin sa MindNation. So yeah, yun, thank you. And then,
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah. So
yes. And yeah, shout out lang din ako dito sa ano, no, sa mga members ng Financial Literacy page.
Hi,
Magka-anniversary na
guys.
next month. So very excited.
happy
Oh,
anniversary.
wow. Happy anniversary. Oh, my goodness. There's so much for us to talk about. Dar, maybe you can start. Take it away.
So one thing we're curious about right now is based on, I guess, when you started like your financial literacy PH community. Parang did you feel any change in this pandemic, like in terms of being more relevant or being more stressful, or ano, parang ano lang, in general lang, parang ano yung napansin mo sa, I guess, in your community also?
Yeah, actually share ko lang backstory dito sa financial literacy PH, no, lalo na, 'di ba? Hindi alam dito ng ano, no. Yung ano kasi, no, it was my birthday kasi, no, December 12 kasi birthday ko. And then I created it the day after lang, December 13, no, out of nowhere lang. So parang ano lang eh. Gusto ko din na mag-help noon. Gusto ko mag-help, 'di ba? So I created the group out of nowhere lang. So yun, and then yun nga, ano tayo, 'di ba? Sabi ko mag-anniversary na next month. So mag 40,000 na eh, sakto magse-celebrate din kami, no,
Wow.
ng
Wow.
anniversary webinar. So yeah, very thankful ako for this group, no. Actually, sobrang daming opportunities, so 'di ba? We have this talk, and ano na din, no, madami rin akong speaking engagements, no, with this talk, 'di ba? Ay, with this group, no. So I'm very excited for this, no. So yeah, ano din siya, no, lalo na financial literacy, hindi talaga siya tinuturo sa Philippines, no, 'di ba? Pero I'm really excited na next time i-include na siya sa curriculum. If I'm correct, sa senior high school ata mag-start. So not sure lang kung kailan mag-start yun.
Yes.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm very excited for that.
Dapat lang. And that's the same thing with mental health also. Like they don't teach those basic life skills at school. So it's great to hear na also your community is growing. It's becoming such a relevant topic. Kasi syempre a lot of people, nahihiya sila pag-usapan ng pera.
Yes.
Nahihiya sila
Correct,
kasi
correct.
syempre pag konti lang, it's a status, parang status symbol siya na parang okay ka pag-usapan yung pera pag meron. Pero pag wala, parang I don't want to do that. And every day, more and more people are thinking of how to properly manage their money. During the pandemic, naramdaman natin to na nagkakaroon talaga ng time, nagipit, and especially for those that have dealt also with job loss,
Mm-hmm.
wala masyadong opportunities. So how do we sustain yung physical needs natin din as a way to achieve better mental health? But aside from the physical aspect, being stressed about our finances, like Dara and I were talking about earlier, is really affecting our mental health and our anxiety. Studies show na 46% of employees in a survey that we did are actually feeling pressure and mental health concerns because of their finances. That's 46. That's almost half. Ano yung usual na advice mo for those that are having difficulty expressing or those that are expressing na meron silang difficulty with money matters?
For me, ano, no, first things first, no. especially siguro same din kasi sa inyo, no, lalo sa mga mental, no, di ba? First things first, we have to acknowledge it, di ba? Syempre, we have to acknowledge the problem, no? And then, wag muna natin sila i-judge, di ba? So, syempre, lalo na right now, sabi mo, no, madami mga jobless, di ba? Almost 2 years na din tayo this pandemic, no? So, syempre, we have to be, we have to be considerate sa kanila, no? And then, we have to ask the right questions, no? So, parang din kami, no? For example, ako, no, financial advisors, no? Parang financial doctor din kami, no? We have to ask the right questions. So, for example, ano ba yan? Is it yung managing ng money ba? Is it dahil sa job loss ba? Or is it yung first step? Another question, no? Tanong ba dapat natin kung as a family ba nagbo-budget ba sila in the first place? Kasi kung nagbo-budget sila in the first place, no, we'll know if it's an income issue or if it's a spending issue. Diba? So, syempre, kung income, syempre, diba? Yung job loss, syempre, mawala talaga income, no? So, syempre, ang magagawa natin dyan is either maghanap ng mga side hustles, diba? Or mga online work, diba? So, syempre, pag sa expenses naman, syempre, we have to adjust din, di ba, na we have to be mas matipid, di ba? Yung lalo na
Yes.
15-30 yung sweldo, no? So, sakto, malapit na rin sweldo. So, yeah. Yun yung usual, for me, yung masasuggest ko.
Right. That's good to really avoid the judgment din para mas easy nila pag-usapan kung ano yung talagang bottleneck dun sa problema. Pero parang ang hirap kasi pag na-overwhelm ka minsan, hindi mo gusto aminin na it's an expense problem kasi syempre we want to live the same kind of lifestyle that we do.
Yeah.
Diba? Yung nakasanayan na natin na parang, sanay ako nagsa-Starbucks ako araw-araw, ayoko mawala yun. So, parang we think that it's an income problem.
Oo.
Dar.
The other thing is, I guess, parang, there's really a challenge right now na parang like with Kat and myself, it wasn't talked about, but there was like parang some pressure, some sort of pressure that we felt growing up. Ikaw ba, parang, what made you start? Diba, you said you did this just before, right after your birthday, right? So, was there something that you were seeing in terms of the environment or people around you that they weren't talking about financial financial problems or something like that?
Yeah, actually, yung before that, no, diba, December ko kasi kinreating group, no, pero I started last year, June, as a financial advisor. No? So, backstory on that one, no, is dapat kasi, no, na-hit din ako sa pandemic, no. So, I'm an IT kasi, no, IT kasi ako. So, last year, mid-year pa lang, no, dapat mag-promote na ako, no. And then, syempre, dahil sa pandemic, no, syempre, mas diba, mas na-hit yung budget, no. So, hindi ako natamaan din ako, no, hindi na ako na-promote for mid-year. So, yun, I was looking for additional source of income, no? So, sakto, di ba? So, ang for me, no, if there's no pandemic, hindi ako magiging financial advisor, no? And then, wala din yung financial literacy group, di ba? So, ano lang din siya? I think, na siya, no? For me, may purpose talaga si God, di ba? That's why we're here din right now, no? To share to others and help them.
And how do you parang, I mean, I know since medyo taboo nga yung topic ng finance, how do you help people like parang overcome their fear to talk about it?
Ako for me, first things first, no, di ba? So, yung sinasabi din, I'm a big fan of Chiquita, no? So, lagi din sinasabi yung Chiquita. For example, kaya kung syempre takot ka muna mag-swimming, no, o mag-bike, di ba? Kasi hindi ka pa marunong. Di ba? So, syempre, para ba natin ma-remove yung fear na yun? Syempre, you have to study, di ba? And practice. Di ba? So, anything naman yun eh. So, kahit naman any skill yan, lalo na sa finance, no? Syempre, you have to start studying on your own, di ba? Syempre, and then you have to practice, no? And apply. And din yun, ang masasabi ko lang din dyan, no? Din tayo. For example, kahit naman MindNation yung pangalan ng group na to, no? Hindi tayo mind readers, di ba? So, hindi naman tayo na, for example, if they don't ask help from us, how can we help them? Di ba? So, alam naman natin, no? If we don't ask, the answer is always no. Di ba? So, yun yung no? So, suggest lang naman natin, no? Don't be afraid, di ba? Kasi, syempre, sabi natin, no, hindi natin sila i-judge. Di ba? Ang goal naman natin, no, lalo na financial advisors, no, is to educate naman them. Di ba? And sabi din natin, no, yung na-feature din na vlog, no, yung financial accountability partner, no, very important din, no, na makahanap ka ng mga very reputable, no, and yung mga trusted mo na either friends or family, no, or mga financial advisors, no, diba? Kasi very taboo yung nga topic, no, and then lalo na i-discuss mo, for example, mga income expense mo, no, very confidential siya, diba? So, yun yung mga for me.
Agree.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna like circle back lang to the topic of like what's happening during the pandemic. Ngayon that things are easing out, ang lakas na natin lumabas. Kasi parang napigilan tayo para tayong na constrain or whatever, and you feel like people are spending money on items and experiences na deprived sila during the pandemic. I'm gonna go to the salon every day. I'm gonna travel. And I was reading it in a couple of websites and they call it revenge buying or revenge shopping.
Yeah.
Na parang, alam mo, tagal ko nang di bumili ng bag. Kahit na hindi ko gagamitin, gagawin ko lang. Parang, there are some people that have been doing that. At saka, well, in light of e-commerce din, Shopee and Lazada, tuloy-tuloy yung pagbili natin ng mga stuff. 'Di ba? Is it possible to still have financial well-being? And sorry, and just to backtrack, ang context nito is people want to buy because parang retail therapy sa kanila. Parang
Correct,
self-care.
correct, correct. Uh-huh.
It makes me feel good. Parang it gives me a sense of normalcy na, I get to enjoy new things again. Is it possible to have good financial well-being pero still allowing ourselves to enjoy the things that we missed out on?
Yeah, for me, ano naman siya, no? Actually, dapat yan yung goal, no? Diba? Lagi natin sinasabi, meron tayong tinatawag ng YOLO, diba? You only live once, diba? Kaya kailangan natin, diba? Pag kuha ng sweldo, gastos na natin agad, diba? So, kasi sabi mo nga kanina, no? Nag-work naman tayo for ourselves, diba? Pero, the correct naman, no? Yung best case scenario, no? Aside from that, meron tayong, syempre, pinaka-gusto natin, no? Enjoy now and enjoy din later. So, paano natin magagawa yung both,
Yeah.
no? Diba? Syempre, ayaw naman natin yung super deprived, no? For our future, no? So, how can we get best of both worlds, no? So, syempre, ito yung tinatawag nating budget, no? I think may di-discuss din natin later about budgeting, no? Pero, di ba, yun yung, syempre dyan napapasok yung budget ko, di ba? Pero yung meron yung tinatawag ng iba, no? Meron tayong tinatawag na fund, as in FUN, di ba? So, syempre, aside from your needs, yes, aside from your needs and wants, no? And then, syempre, savings. Pag we consider yung fund, di ba? For example, pero 10% no, of your income, no? Kung goes to your fund, eh di kung gano'n naman kasi siya, no? Kung pasok naman talaga siya sa fun, edi go for it, 'di ba? Enjoy mo din, 'di ba? Hindi naman tayo nabubuhay na, 'di ba? Ayaw naman natin yung sobrang deprived na na
Correct.
puro ano na lang, no, biscuit na lang kinakain natin, 'di ba? Para mag-save up for our future, 'di ba? So, we want to enjoy it naman. So, for me possible naman, 'di ba? We just have to
Yun yung
go back to
mali
the
ko.
numbers.
Lahat fun eh. Buong salary fund. It will talk about budgeting in a bit, you're right.
Yeah, because I think one of the basic things, 'di ba, since as parang Enery, you mentioned nga na may fund and then pero meron ring fund na parang for your, I guess, your basic necessities, and then yung what you said na prepare for the future, 'di ba? So maybe we can call it future fund. Ganun. So kasi I think, 'di ba, it's connected also to our feeling talaga of sense of security na parang kung if we just keep on focusing on our fun, hindi ikaw pinapatama ka. Pag
Natatawa na
fun,
ako eh.
kung fun lang lahat, parang baka your present super saya, pero then the future becomes a bit more uncertain. And I think this is why it's very important that we really ground ourselves in the foundations of personal finance, right? So, but before that, guys, so if you're really having challenges like parang breaking, if you're too overwhelmed, I think one of the most important thing that we can do, and that's why we're doing this monthly check-in, except ngayon meron lang tayong twist na on the finance side, is please don't forget that you can reach out to anyone in MindNation. They're definitely here. They're 24/7. And you can reach out to them at bit.ly/mn-chat or email book at MindNation to book a session. So, guys, they're really one of the best value services you can get for mental health. So, there. So, ayan, sorry, nag-short commercial lang ako.
Thank you for plugging.
Kasi, Enery, parang in terms of personal finance and what we need when we get started, what are the basic things that we need to consider?
Okay, for me, personal finance, no, di ba? We can split it sa dalawang word, no? Personal and finance. I got this from from, if you know Salve Duplito, no? So
Yes,
she's di
yes.
ba? Financial
Yeah.
financial beshi ng bayan, no? Siya yung first the first speaker namin for first webinar namin ng ng Finlit, no? So I'm very excited for that, no? Di ba? So yeah, ang so two words personal and finance, no? Pero usually lagi iniisip ng tao, no, 'di ba? Personal finance is more of the money, no. So tama naman, it's about money, no. Pero yung mas hindi napapansin is the personal part, 'di ba? So personal
Mm-mm.
finance, so
Yeah.
it's personal, 'di ba? So for example, tayong tatlo, 'di ba? May kanya-kanya tayong stories, 'di ba? Yung isa mas madami sa fun, yung isa mas nagfo-focus sa future, 'di ba? May kanya-kanya naman, no. Kahit naman for example, same tayo first job naman, no. Kahit naman first job na same sweldo, no. Kanya-kanya pa rin expenses, 'di ba? Yung isa pa kayo isa may dependents, yung isa single lang. 'Di ba? Yung isa breadwinner, 'di ba? So may kanya-kanya talaga siyang stories, 'di ba? So ang
Mm-hmm.
for me, no, ang very important talaga diyan for personal finance, no, syempre check muna natin yung current status natin right now, di ba? Sabi na natin, no, syempre dyan papasok yung income and expenses, di ba? Syempre yung mga assets and liabilities din, no. Syempre yung iba, no, yung mga iba, yung iba may mga debts, no. Syempre may tayong bad debts and good debts, di ba? So, ang ano naman kailangan dyan, no, to start syempre sa personal finance journey, no, lalo na kahit pa mga students, no, ang pinaka-important naman is to build the habit of saving and budgeting. 'Di ba? Yung budgeting na mention na natin kanina, no, 'di ba? Pero yun pa lang actually pag na-master mo yung saving with budgeting, no, malaking help na agad yun, no, towards your journey.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, when you're thinking about saving and budgeting, minsan nakaka-overwhelm na parang, minsan sasabihin na nila, oh, kailangan mga 30% naka-savings na yan, ganon. Parang, hindi pa ako ready to let go of my 30%. Kasi kailangan kalimutan mo na yun, ganon. And so, small and intentional steps are very important when you're really setting goals for your financial
Mm-hmm.
well-being. And para, like what you're saying, para may direction ka din, merong mga taong, okay, they have debts. So, yung goal nila, mawala, they'll be free from their debts. Merong mga, okay, gusto nila to save up for a house or a big trip. Those are very important. But how important is goal setting in building that foundation for your personal finance journey? Kailangan ba palagi may goal ako to get started on a financial well-being?
Yeah, for me, goal is one of the most important, no. Parang sabi nga natin, no. For example, nagda-drive ako, 'di ba? Kaya magda-drive ako, wala akong destination. Hindi drive lang ako na drive, no, forever, 'di ba? So, parang si ano, 'di ba? Parang for example, 'di ba sa Google Maps, nilagay mo natin yung pick up point natin at saka yung destination, 'di ba? So, malalaman natin how many minutes and then ano yung mga ano, 'di ba, direction mo. So, ganoon din siya, no. So, 'di ba, meron din tayong tinatawag na SMART goals, 'di ba? SMART, 'di ba? Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic and time bound, 'di ba? So syempre dapat yung mga goals natin smart siya, no. Hindi lang yung basta-basta yung super out of the world. Kaya gusto yung iba, sinasabi, gusto ko maging billionaire agad, 'di ba? Wala pa nga siyang millionaire, 'di ba? So mga yung mga medyo ganoon din na realistic, no. So syempre, for example, meron din tayong tinatawag na short term, medium term, long term goals, 'di ba? For example, short term mga less than 1 year, no. And then mga medium term probably mga 1 to 5 years, no. And then long term more than 5 years, no. So very important din siya, no, kasi pag may goal tayo, no, we'll know, for example, pag may goal tayo, matatake din natin yung progress na. For example, 5 years yung goal, no? Long-term goal siya, no? For example, after medyo 3 years pa lang, no, nakita mo, pero 1 million yung target mo, no? Sabi mo, dapat half na, no? Pero less than half ka pa lang, no? So, we can adjust, di ba? So, ganoon naman yung ano, no? Kasi kung wala kang goal, di mo alam gaano kalapit or gaano ka nakalayo, di ba? So, dito din papasok yung, for example, no? Kaya may mga financial advisors na yung mga, ano, no, mga tao, no? Dapat may mga regular check-ups, di ba? Kasi, for example, sabi naman natin, no? As a financial advisor, di ba? Ina-offer naman talaga, for example, yung insurance, no? Pero, it's an end-to-end process kasi, di ba? So, syempre, sabi natin, for example, ako parang single right now, di ba? For example, after ilang years, nagka-family ako, syempre, ibang goals na naman siya, di ba? Ibang priorities. So, dapat regular check-ups din siya, no? So, kahit naman di siya sa ano, no? Sabi ko nga kanina, kahit di naman siya sa financial advisor, no? Syempre, dito din sa ano, no? Sa mga financial accountability partners na, di ba? So, that's very important talaga yun yung tinatawag nating goal-based investing, di ba? So, kasi pag ano, no? Yung pinaka-goal talaga dapat natin for ano, no, for investing, no, it's not to make more money, 'di ba? Ang pinaka-goal dapat natin is ma-reach yung goal natin, 'di ba? Kaya nga tayo nag-invest in the first place. Yun.
Yeah. That's very important talaga yung goals. I really love your analogy in terms of parang yun nga with anything like even when we're driving or you really have to pin down like where do you want to go. In your opinion, since you mentioned like parang different stages in our life, na parang when we get married, diba, iba-iba yung goals. What do you think is the best age to get started on a retirement fund like when we're older, diba?
Retirement fund, yeah, alam din, no? Di ba? I think right now, binababaan na ata yung retirement age. Diba? Dati 65, right now, if I'm correct,
Mm-mm.
ginagawa na siya 60. No? So, ang best case scenario kasi, no, is you start as soon as possible. Diba? For example, kahit mga students right now, no, diba, they can start with, for example, may mga allowance pala sila, no, they can already start. Diba? Kasi ang ano kasi, no, best friend ng mga younger generations, no, kasi para matanda na ako, no? Pero yung mga best friend kasi ng mga younger generations is a time, diba? Is a time, kasi yung meron tayo tinatawag na compounding interest, diba? Yung time and compounding interest. Kasi compounding interest, diba? Ito yung tinatawag nating eighth wonder of the world, diba? Yung interest mo is also earning interest. Diba? So yun yung ano, no, I
Yes.
suggest, kahit ano pala, no, kaya nga, diba, yung mga itong financial literacy, diba? As long as marunong ka na agad, no, apply mo na siya agad, diba? So, kahit naman yung mga iba, teenager pa lang, no, already starting yan, diba? May mga nakikita din ako YouTube channels, mga bata pa lang, stock market na, no? Kaya very excited for that, diba? And then aside
Correct,
from
correct.
that, no, ang add ko lang din sa retirement fund, no, meron kasi tayong tinatawag na FIRE or FIRE. Ito yung tinatawag natin financial independence, retire early. Okay, itong FIRE, no, parang ano siya parang strategy siya, no. Parang yung point lang nito, no, i-compute mo yung FIRE number mo. So yung FIRE number mo kasi is 25 years of 25 years ng annual expenses mo. So for example, annual expense mo per year is 100,000, no. So 100,000 times 25, ganun. O basta yun, 25M ata, no? Basta yun. So, kung kuya may 25M ka na, no? Or 25 years worth of your expenses, no? Technically, ang strategy lang dito, no? Mag-withdraw ka lang ng 4% of your, ano, no? Of that 25M, for example. And then you can live na, di ba? Pinakang goal kasi natin, di ba? Yung retirement, di ba? Siyempre, yung sinasabi natin, financial freedom, di ba? Wala na tayong
Mm-mm.
isipin, di ba? We can sabi natin, no? I-maximize na talaga natin fun, di ba? Travel lang tayo, enjoy natin lahat, di ba? So, yun yung ano, no? Pero, syempre, sabi ko nga, no, syempre malaki yung isipin mo, 25M, so malaki yun, no? So, para ba natin mag-hit yung 25M, for example? Diba, we start as soon as possible, di ba? Start small and start early.
Mm-mm. Yeah. I remember this quote, sinabi rin sa akin parang when you're saving or parang planning your retirement or even your emergency fund, it's actually a gift that you give your future self. So,
Yes.
it's not naman a gift na hindi mo makukuha, but it's really a gift to your future self. So, I really love that.
Yeah. Well, nagsisink in lang siya sa akin. Nagsisink in lang siya sa akin kasi syempre sobrang guilty ako sa, just making everything a fun. But realizing and understanding as well that there really has to be to some extent parang delayed gratification, and
Mm-mm.
it will really reap its benefits in the future. You start parang skincare, you start as early as possible para hindi mo, you're not griping
Correct,
in the
correct.
end.
Yes, yes.
Yung method, yung sinasabi ni Enery sa car, ako naman sa skincare, parang start as early as possible. But
Yes.
great insight so far. What I'm learning, and I'm sure what those that are watching us tonight are learning as well, is that apart from really doing like looking at your day-to-day income and just being able to save and live day-to-day, hindi lang naman yun yung goal natin. A big part of our security and even our mental health is knowing that you have more than enough, and so that you can be flexible, you can enjoy. And now during the time of the pandemic, na hindi mo alam, any time you can get sick and a loved one could get sick. We also need the emergency funds as well. Now let's talk about, you mentioned yung stocks, you mentioned all of these other investments. Let's talk about growing our money.
Yes. I think
Can you take us
parang
through, if maybe, yeah, go ahead.
sorry.
Ano ata ako.
May
Nagde-delay ako. Oh, go.
nagde-delay. Yeah. So actually,
Yeah, yeah.
siya nag-share dito. I won't flash her kasi malulunod tayo sa mahabang niyang message. Sabi nga ni Rosary na right now, like what happened in their family is that she lost her job and then so syempre nawalan ng income. So they had to cut their expenses by 50%. And they really had to be practical down to the last peso. And even, 'di ba, parang if you don't have a job, one of the things that you lose is also your health card kasi most companies may health card. So I guess it
Agree.
really affects like us in all the stress level. So would you have like some, I guess, general tips when it comes to budgeting? Kasi yun,
For,
parang yun
okay.
parang bigla na-cut, 'di ba? Tapos kailangan, okay, now I have to make do with this particular budget?
Okay, for me, when it comes to budgeting, no, ang first things first dyan, no, di ba? You cannot spend what you don't have, di ba? So, ang very important dyan, no, yung cash flow, di ba? So, alam mo yung cash flow, you have to measure kung ano yung magkano yung pumapasok, magkano din yung lumalabas, di ba? So, syempre, sabi nga natin kanina, kunyari, sa case niya, di ba, na, ito yung, nakalimutan ko yung pangalan, no, pero sa case niya, di ba, she already did the math, no?
Grocery,
So, yeah, Rosary, no? So, yeah, thank you, Rosary, no? So, sabi nga niya, no, na medyo na-cut off siya, di ba? Since sa Russian work ko. So, she can do the adjustment. Diba? Kasi kung hindi ka nag-budget in the first place, no, yung mahirap dyan, no, for example, 20,000 income mo, no, and then 10,000 na expenses mo, pero yung 10,000, diba dapat mapupunta sa savings, no, for example, no. Pero yung 10,000, di mo na pupunta, diba? Baka napunta siya sa fund or sa iba, no. So, mahirap siya, diba? So, syempre, very important talaga is to track, diba? Sabi nga ni, Rosary, diba? Tracking to the last centavo, no. That's very recommended, diba? So, pero ang din, no, ang when it comes to budgeting din, no, kasi there's no one size fits all din kasi na strategy. Diba? For example, yung iba gusto mag pen and paper. Yung iba gusto mag Excel. Diba? Yung mga Google Sheets. No? Ako personally, Google Sheets ako. No? And then yung iba yung mga gusto yung sa app. Diba? So may kanya-kanya din siyang strategy. Diba? So ang important naman, you have to do your own, ba? And aside from that,
you have
sabi
to
din
do
ni
your
Kat,
own thing.
yeah, sabi din ni Kat kanina, no, may kanya-kanyang budgeting, din siya, percentage, no. Iba, usually yung naririnig natin is either 50, 30, 20, iba 7, 20, 10, di ba? May kanya-kanya naman, no. So for example, yan pwede natin compare na, for example, no, di ba? For example, ako, medyo single lang ako, no, wala akong dependents, no. Syempre, mas malaki yung budget ko, for example, sa fund, di ba? Compare mo sa isang breadwinner, no, may mga dependents pa siya. Di ba? Syempre, probably kung meron siyang fund, probably super small lang. Di ba? So yun yung very, very important talaga sa when it comes to budgeting, di ba? Ganun siya. And you have to din siya, no? Ang sabi natin kanina ni Kat, no, di ba? Yung pay yourself first, di ba? Kasi yung pinapay natin sa sarili natin is for our future self naman, di ba? Hindi naman siya mawawala. Yun.
Meron bang mga myths on budgeting that you want to burst for our community?
Okay, mga budgeting myths, no, sinasabi din ng iba, no, parang masyado siyang hassle, di ba? Masyadong effort, or yung iba, sabi, mahina din ako sa math, di ba? So, the truth about that one, sabi natin kanina, wala naman wala namang budget na iba, no, except for ourselves. So syempre, kailangan din natin ng konting effort. And sabi natin kanina, no, may kanya-kanyang way naman, di ba? May either pen and paper. Syempre, mahirap yung sabihin mo, pinabudget ko yung sa utak ko, di ba? Medyo mahirap yan, di ba? Lalo na tumatanda na din tayo, no? Ako din, personally, no, medyo mahina din yung memory ko, di ba? And yung sinasabi din ng iba, no, na yung myth, no, sinasabi ng iba, parang boring naman ito, di ba? Boring naman budget. YOLO nga, di ba? YOLO, di ba? So, ang may take on that one naman, no, yung medyo boring siya, no. Ang road kasi to financial wellness, no, or financial freedom, no, di ba? Or building wealth in the first place. Technically, boring siya, eh. Di ba? Kasi isipin mo, mag-save ka ng future mo. Sino ba gusto, di ba? Nakikita natin right now sa social media, di ba? Ano ba yung naging nagbo-boom, di ba? Nagta-travel, di ba? Bagong cellphone, bagong kotse, di ba? So, yun yung mahirap, eh, 'di ba? Kasi natatrain yung natin, no. 'Di ba, to appreciate yung mga ganun, no? Pero if you compare kasi, no, kunyari nagbili siya ng car right now, no, compare ikaw nag-iibig kayo na, no, for your future. For sure mas malaki yung mag-grow mo, 'di ba? Kaya nga din siya, no. Kaya nga sinasabi natin, no, tawag ito, slow and steady wins the race, 'di ba? Kaya nga sabi, and then yung the fastest way to get rich, no, is to do it slow. 'Di ba? Yung iba kasi sobrang gusto mga
Get
non-day
rich
millionaires,
quick,
di ba?
yung mga
Get
ganyan.
rich. Yes, mga nasa-scam siya, di ba? So, yun yung mga no. And then the last one lang din, no, yung budgeting myth, no. Ito, actually, sabi na rin natin kanina, no, is parang masyadong restrictive, di ba? Di ba? Ano tong budget na to, di ba? So, parang sobrang restrictive, no. For me naman, dito na rin papasok yung natin kanina, no. So, ikaw rin mag-set ng budget mo, no. For example, kung may fund ka rin, pero ang maganda din naman sa budget, no, di ba siya, for example, 50, 30, 20 ka right now, no, you can adjust it naman, di ba? On the fly. Kasi lalo na sabi natin, no, for example, minsan may mga bonus, di ba? Minsan dumadaban yung expenses, mga emergencies, no. So you can adjust it naman, di ba? So basta pag na-budget mo naman siya, no, and pasok naman siya sa budget, go for it, di ba? Pero ba naman siya, di ba? Enjoy din naman tayo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lovely myths broken tonight. Now, when we're looking and we're talking about budgeting, sabi mo nga aside from boring, Mahirap din siya. Mahirap to, especially kung nakasanayan mo na free-flowing lang na pag may pumasok, the bus na meron akong pang Shopee, may pang Lazada ako. And when you're starting out, and parang, kunyari lang, sabihin natin, starter salary, 18, 20,000, pero, nowadays, it's extremely expensive. Things are extremely expensive. Parang wala ka pang makukuhang place to, like, your own place with that amount of money, tapos food pa and everything that you need to take care of. On top of that, kung breadwinner ka pa, kung you really want to help out with family or your own as well, what are the best ways to be able to get out of being cash strapped, yung talagang gipit na gipit sa money, to be more financially free or financially flexible? Alam ko you said na take it slow, pero there are really times na parang, ayaw naman natin yung feeling na palagi na lang tayong living day to day. How can we
Yes,
best
yes.
get out of that?
Okay, yung sinasabi mo, no, parang yan yung tinatawag nating rat race eh. So, may yung rat race, no, di ba? Nag-work tayo para mag-bayad ng bills. And then, paulit lang siya, di ba? Work, bayad bills, no? So, para ba tayo makaka-get out of the rat race, no? Actually, the best case, no, so, ang ano kasi dyan, no, yung sa rat race, di ba? Meron kasi tayong tinatawag na two types of income. Di ba? First one is active income. So, active income, di ba? For the word itself, no, active siya. So, kailangan natin mag-work, no? So, ito yung tinatawag nating man at work. Pero, medyo limited kasi yung man at work, no? Kasi 24 hours lang tayo, di ba? Eh, syempre,
Yeah.
medyo limited lang din yung energy natin right now, di ba? Di naman pwede, habang nagko-call out tayo right now, nag-work ako sa iba, di ba? So, syempre, limited lang yung ano natin, no? Yung manpower din natin, pati yung energy, no? So, medyo limited siya, no? So, medyo yun mahirap, no? Yun yung downside sa active income, no? And then, meron tayong tinatawag na passive income. So, ano maganda sa passive income, no? Ito yung tinatawag nating money at work. So, ba't siya tinatawag na money at work, no? So, kahit habang tulog ka, nag-earn ka ng pera, 'di ba? So, syempre, para magka-ano din tayo, no, yung financial freedom, no, or getting out of the rat race, no. Syempre, mas ang goal natin, no, i-complement natin yung active income natin with passive income. So, syempre, madami mga passive income, no. For example, yung mga affiliate links, 'di ba? Yung iba, mga madami eh. Actually, pero yung syempre, as a finance, no, a financial advisor, no, yung pinaka main ano naman talaga for passive income, diyan na papasok yung investments, 'di ba? So, meaning ng investments, no, is making money work hard for us, 'di ba? Para may yung best case scenario, 'di ba? Nag-work hard tayo, no? Pati yung pera, yung maganda kasi sa pera, no, hindi siya napapagod eh. Kahit 24/7 siya, no, pa-work mo, okay lang, 'di ba? 'Yun.
Yung goal, magkaroon ng
Grabe.
passive
Yeah.
income.
Yes, yes. Talking about passive income, kasi 'di ba one of the things na nauuso rin ngayon regarding with investments and stuff is that you see like these trendy conversations on cryptocurrency, 'di ba? Kasi yun yung sinasabi rin nila na if you're doing that, it can contribute to passive income. And a lot of people are parang I guess it's a mix, right? Kasi you already have some traditional institutions recognizing cryptocurrency, but how do we really get started in whatever kinds of investments? And I guess what do you think about cryptocurrency?
Okay, good question siya, no? Lalo na very trendy, no? 'Di ba? Axie, and
Oo,
then madaming scams,
usong-uso
no?
eh.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. So for me, no, getting started sa investments, no, first things first, dapat ano ka, no, valid age ka. So ang valid age right now dito sa Philippines, no, is 18 years old. So if you're not yet 18 years old, no, sabi ko nga sa mga students, no, pwede sila magpa-help sa friends or sa family nila, 'di ba? Probably magpa-help sila paggawa ng account, no. Aside from the as valid age, no, syempre yung valid government ID din. 'Di ba? Lalo na for example,
Mm-mm.
mga GCash or mga crypto, lahat naman kailangan yung may tinatawag tayong KYC, no, or know your customer. So, very important talaga yung valid government ID mo, no? And aside from that, no, syempre, kung bago ka mag-start sa mga gano'n, no, syempre, yung major requirement din, no, for example, meron ka mga bank accounts, no, either mga traditional banks yan, no, or mga e-wallets, no, for example, mga GCash, di ba?
Mm-mm.
So, yun yung mga requirements, no, to start, no. Pero, aside from that, no, yung mga, di ba, meron tayo tinatawag na financial planning pyramid, no, or yung step by step, no. So, ang pinaka-foundation kasi natin, no, is yung protection, eh. Yung kasama doon, yung na-mention natin kanina, no, is the emergency fund, no. And then yung
Mm-hmm.
usual, no, yung usually skip na mga tao, no, is the insurance, di ba? Yung protect na natin yung income natin, di ba? So, ano na siya, no? And then yung very important din, no, hindi ko rin nasabi, I think hindi ko siya nasabi, no, pero very important din, no, before you start investing, no, make sure mo wala ka dapat utang.
Yes.
Yung utang na ano, no, bad debt, no. So yung bad debt is ano, no, yung utang ng, for example, sa mga luho ng mga fund, 'di ba? Pero syempre may mga ano naman no, yung mga good debts naman no, for example for business, 'di ba? Yung mga income generating, okay naman siya. So pag mga ganun kasi no, you can ano siya no. For example, you're already good with that no. Pwede ka mag-start, 'di ba? So ang masasabi ko lang no, para mag-start ka sa investments, 'di ba? Sobrang daming options. Eh. 'Di ba sabi may traditional, may crypto no. Ang suggestion ko lang no, you should invest on something that you understand. 'Di ba? So syempre, ang pinaka super basic naman for example, yung mga savings lang, time deposits. 'Di ba? Pero yung
Correct,
mga ano
correct.
kasi sobrang dami. For example, mga crypto, no? Sige, share ko na before I share yung sa take ko sa crypto. No? Maganda kasi sa mga investments right now. Very super, ano, no? Ginawa nila super affordable doon. Dati kasi you need
Yes.
thousands, no? Yung iba dollars pa, no? Right now, hindi ko nasasave yung pangalan, no, ng, ano, ng investment, no? Pero maganda kasi yung iba. For as low as 50 pesos lang, no? Or $1, you can already start investing. Diba? Dati pang bibili mo na siya um, ng food, no? Pwede mo siya agad invest. Diba? So
Mm-mm.
actually wala na siyang barrier, eh. Diba? 50 pesos lang. Pero sa take ko naman sa crypto, no? Very ano siya, no? Very new siya, no? Diba? Very very volatile siya, diba? It's one of the highest risk kasi, no? Aside from the stock market and forex, no? Yun yung highest risk na investment, eh, 'di ba? So, actually nag-talk din ako last Saturday, no, about sa mga nagsi-scam, no. So, sobrang daming scam sa crypto kasi they take advantage sila no, na mga tayo, no, mga shades bago pa lang siya, no, wala pa masyadong alam, 'di ba? Pero ang take ko naman kasi diyan, no, it's a good investment naman, no. Pero if you study it, 'di ba? So if you study it man, no, and naman no, nagets ko naman siya, no, and ang suggestion ko lang, pag pumapasok ka na ng capital dito sa crypto, for example, no, make sure, 'di ba, sabi nga natin, no, invest only on money that you're willing to lose. Diba? So for
Yes,
me,
correct, correct.
a good ano kasi, no, a good percentage no, for crypto, no, is mga 5 to 10% lang of your portfolio. Kasi pag medyo malaki kasi, no, for example, 5,000, nagpasok ko ng 5,000, no, for example, naging zero siya, okay lang. Medyo kaya mo
Mm.
babawi 5,000, no. Pero yung iba kasi pinapasok nila hundreds of thousands, eh, di ba? Eh
Oh,
kung
yung
nag-zero
life
yung
High
hundreds of
risk.
thousands,
savings. Yeah.
yes,
High risk,
life
high
savings yan,
reward
no?
ang iniisip nila eh.
Yes. Pati yung
Mm-mm.
mga retirement fund, no, di ba? Yun yung mahirap. So, for me, ano naman, ako personally, small percentage na talaga ako sa crypto kasi konti pa lang naaral ko.
Agree. I
Right.
love that. I love that lesson. Na parang don't do anything, I guess, that you don't know anything about. And I guess that's like really the backbone of your group, no? The financial literacy na that's why you learn more about it so that you'll be more comfortable so you can make smarter decisions in terms of how you manage your money because sabi nga ni Enery, let's not forget the personal in the personal finance, guys. So, and
Agree.
yung sinabi mo, the investment can go as low as 50 pesos, right?
Yes. Meron
Yeah,
mga right now.
that's right now. I think that's really one of the best things I guess in terms of the technology that it allowed for that. Kasi I don't know, I remember this way back in high school pa ata. Parang in the Philippines, yung problems natin wala talaga savings mga tao. Tapos like in Japan or the richer countries, the problem of their economy is they have too many savings. So they're being
Yes.
encouraged to spend. So
Yeah.
sa atin kulang. So I don't know, naalala ko lang siya ngayon.
Hindi lang ano eh, hindi lang kulang. I also recall that, at that time that I was learning about it, less, siguro mga 5% pa lang yung merong Filipinos that have bank accounts.
Yes.
Yes,
So
correct,
they
correct.
really, it's either in the jar, tapos you'd read
Yeah.
news. I read this news about this woman who had her life savings in a jar lang, and the house burned down.
Mhm.
And wala
Yeah.
na. So, and it's such a common story because
Yeah.
nobody teaches it in school. They don't
Correct,
know
correct.
how to get started with actually putting it in the bank, the value of doing that. So it's great na
Yeah.
meron tayong organizations ngayon like Financial Literacy PH that really
Mm-mm.
digs deep into educating others on how to be more
Yeah.
financially well.
I think
Speaking of,
also, sorry,
go
just to
ahead.
add to that, Kat, parang I think one of the challenges kasi we had in the earlier days, in the olden times, or ano rin, parang ang dami nga yung sabi nga ni Enery, there's requirements if you have to go to a bank, you have to do this, you have to do that. So I think it has become a barrier. Kasi I studied in UP, right? So parang I had like friends in UP na syempre parang we sort of laugh about it, but it's real that their parents would still keep money under the bed.
Mhm.
Like yung literal na yung Filipino style na tago yung pera sa kama, sa ilalim ng kama. So,
Mm-mm.
and they don't want to go to the bank. They don't trust the bank. So as in may mga ganong trust issues talaga. So I think like nowadays like we're learning more about different financial institutions. We have more options. And parang I guess it has become a bit more accessible. Yes,
Agree,
right.
agree. Now, Enery, you mentioned na don't invest in something that you understand. And there's a lot of information out there at meron ng mga fake news na madali kang, just as much as there are information out there, meron din, are set up to scam you. So maybe
Yes.
you can share with us some good sources on where to start reading about whatever it is, if you want to invest in cryptocurrency, mga axi, all of these stuff. Where are your recommended sources of information?
Okay, okay. Ang ano kasi, no, for example, any saving investment kasi, no, lahat naman sila may kasamang risk, no, di ba? Paano kasing zero risk, eh, di ba? So, add ko lang din
Mm-mm.
pala, no, sabi nyo kanina na, tawag dito, yung, yung naglalagay lang sa ano, no, naglalagay sa ano lang, no, naglalagay sa under ng kama, di ba? So, ang ano kasi dyan, no, safe ka yung pera mo, no, pero meron kasi tayong tinatawag na inflation. Diba? So yun yung
Yes.
one of our biggest opponents, no, 'di ba? Yung inflation rate natin on average kasi dito sa Philippines is at 4%, 'di ba? So safe na pera mo, 'di ba? Pero talong-talo siya sa inflation rate natin at 4%, 'di ba? So syempre sobrang daming options, no. So ang suggestion ko, for example, no, yung pinaka-safe naman natin, no, for example, yung mga sabi ko kanina, mga savings and time deposit, no, 'di ba? Pero ang ano kasi siya, no, di niya mabibit yung inflation, 'di ba? So ang ano kasi, no, ang sabi natin kanina, meron tayong short-term goals, meron tayong long-term
Mm-mm.
goals. So a good
Yeah.
way to store your mga short-term goals, no, aside from mga traditional banks, no, you can also consider mga digital banks. Diba? Digital banks, for example, yung mga GCash, no, or yung sa GC. Diba? Meron yung
Mm-mm.
maganda sa digital banks, no, they can offer higher interest rates compared sa traditional banks
Yes.
kasi wala
Correct,
siyang
correct.
physical branches, no, and then wala siyang masyadong mga employees, diba? So
Mm-mm.
maganda yun, no, maganda sa mga digital banks, no, diba? Siyempre,
Mm.
sobrang daming options, diba? Ako, ang masasabi ko lang, no, where to find yung mga reliable. Ito, sa financial literacy page, diba? Sobrang dami na, diba? So, sobrang dami. Actually, for example, ako din personally, may blog din ako, no? So, madami na rin ako mga nadi-discuss natin right now, no? Actually, I already have a blog on that, diba? And then madami din. Sabi ko, si Salte, so sobrang dami, diba? Madami tayong, aside from the blogs, no, meron tayong, right now, TikTok, diba? Nagiging trending din yung TikTok,
Also,
diba? So, aside from sa mga style lang, diba? Iba nagiging educational din, so ba? So, ang catch lang for me, no, you have to do your own research din, diba? Kasi, at the end of the day, kahit naman ako, no, nagkakamali din yung tao. Diba? So you have to be, you need to tawag natin critical thinking. Diba? So, syempre, ang goal lang naman natin, diba, is to educate. Pero at the end of the day, no, you have to do your own research din. Diba? I-verify mo sa iba. Kasi, for sure, baka iba yan, no? So, ganoon naman siya. So, ang very important naman to take note when it comes to investing, no, is the ano, diba, is your risk appetite. Sabi natin, diba, low risk, low returns, high risk, high returns, diba? Pag sinasabi ng iba na low risk, high returns, probably scam na yun, diba? Sasabihin niya mga after ilang days, magdodoble yung pera mo, diba? So, kaya talaga natin siya, ano, no, i-gauge talaga natin, no? Siyempre, aside from yung risk appetite natin, yung time horizon din natin, diba? So, very important
Mm-mm.
din yun.
Mm-mm.
And aside from that, yung mismong style natin, paano natin gusto mag-invest, no? Iba kasi gusto yung super passive lang. Ako, personally, I'm a passive investor, di ba? Aside from, syempre gusto ko mag-work as much as possible, no? And then I let the investments do the work for me, di ba? Yung iba kasi, for example, yung mga nagsa-stock market or crypto, no? Gusto talaga nila, mga traders, no? Gusto talaga nila i-timing yung market, di ba? So, sobrang dami ano kasi, no? So, ang for me, no? Ang ano pa din dyan, no? Break pa din tayo kanina sa invest in yourself. Di ba? Kasi, sobrang dami, so nakaka-overwhelm na, no? So, ano din siya, no? Start ka lang sa, ano, sa simple lang, no? And then you have to apply it. Diba? Kasi, di mo siya malalaman if it works for you if you don't try it.
agree.
Okay. Parang,
For
I guess,
those, go, sorry,
yeah,
Dar.
go ahead.
Now, I was gonna say also, for those that have questions on financial well-being, you can put it now on the comment section. Let us know and share with
Mm-mm.
us if this is relevant to you, para we can also talk about it live. Dar?
Yeah, I was gonna say nga, parang essentially for Enery, parang since earlier part of our discussion, we were talking about that money really affects our mental health kasi it affects our sense of security and so on. Are there some tips that you can share na to start off? Let's say, yun nga, a person is so overwhelmed financially right now. If you can say, let's set up na babad sa utang and then undergoing or already it's affecting the mental health. How can they be how can they start off, I guess, um with their journey to resolving their personal finance challenges, and then at the same time hopefully reach some a bit of stability for mental health? Would you have some advice for that?
Okay, for me, ano, no, syempre, di ba, in-acknowledge natin, no? So, syempre, in-acknowledge natin, we have to do a plan, di ba, para ma-resolve siya.
Mm-hmm.
So, para ba natin yung, kung debt problem siya, no? So, we have to do the
Uh-huh.
math, di ba? So, for example, meron two ways of paying your debt, di ba? Yung snowball or yung avalanche, di ba? So, ano naman siya kung mag-start ko with the smallest interest, no, or the biggest interest, no. So, kanya-kanya strategy naman siya, no. So, ang ano diyan, no, ang ano siya, no, ang pinaka for me, it's a step-by-step process. 'Di ba? So, ano naman siya na, for example, since step-by-step process siya, no, you have maganda dito, no, maganda mag-set ka ng mga mini goals. Diba? For example, yung utang mo, no, for example, is 100,000. O nabawasan mo sa 20,000, edi pwede mo siya treat yourself, 'di ba? Kasi na-hit mo yung, 'di ba? You hit a small goal, 'di ba? Ang goal, sabi natin kanina, no, it's a journey naman, no. Hindi naman siya one time na oops, wala ka ng utang, 'di ba? So, it's a step-by-step process naman, 'di ba? So, kaya nga dapat i-reward din natin siya, no? Kasi sabi natin, no, dapat mag-enjoy tayo. 'Di ba? Kasi kung
Correct.
kung di tayo nag-enjoy, ano mangyayari, 'di ba? Sabi nga natin kanina, no, pag sobrang nag-ano tayo, no, baka naman super nag-ano tayo, 'di ba? Super gusto mong bayad na utang, 'di ba? Na super tinipid natin, no, to the point na hindi na healthy yung kinakain natin. 'Di ba? Eh di nagkasakit pa tayo, 'di ba? Nagka-emergency pa
Correct.
tayo, 'di ba?
Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm.
ano naman siya. So, yun yung mga sa utang. Pero pag when it comes sa savings, so ganun din siya. Step by step process naman siya, 'di ba? Yung ano talaga siya, no. Kaya nga sabi ko sa iyo, no, maganda din diyan yung mga ano ka, no, yung financial accountability partner, 'di ba? Para may regular checkups, 'di ba? Para maano din siya, para magkaano ka din, no, ah tawag ito mga milestones, no. And ang suggestion ko lang din dito, no, do not be afraid to make mistakes, 'di ba? Kaya nga sabi na journey siya, 'di ba? Kasi lalo na pag starting ka, no, medyo baon ka sa utang, 'di ba? Probably baka may mali ka na gawa in the first place, 'di ba? So, we don't need to ano naman, no. Syempre acknowledge mo, no, and then okay lang naman kamali, 'di ba? Yung sinasabi nga ng iba yung FAIL, 'di ba? Yun yung tinatawag nating first attempt in learning. 'Di ba? So, ano naman siya, no? Kung i-take kasi yung failure as an opportunity, no, 'di ba? At least alam mo na yung nag-plan ka no, so you can improve on it. So, ganun naman siya.
Yeah, ang ganda. Oh, I love that. So guys, oo nga, no, FAIL, first attempt in learning. So it's very relevant also to what Nya was saying. We talked about parang getting out of bad debt, and it's very discouraging kasi sometimes to do budgeting, yun yung sabi niya. Pag nagba-budget ako, magdagdag-plan ako, alam ko naman negative yung total. So anong parang how can she, I guess, motivate herself to to see a better future, considering na pag nagba-budget siya nakikita niya lang negative, negative, negative.
Okay, for me, ano, no, sabi ko, aside from the ano, no, yung two ways na, no, ang suggestion ko kasi dyan, no, you have to do the math, eh. Diba? Kasi ano yan, eh, for example, 100,000, sabi ko, di naman siya one go, eh. So, syempre per month yan, eh. Diba? So, kaya yung strategy mo, no, is yung smallest interest ba or the biggest interest, no. So, ang suggestion ko kasi dyan, no, aside from syempre yung limited yung expense natin, no, taasan din natin yung income natin if possible. Diba? Kasi kung tumaas yung income natin, no, for example, mayroon tayong mga bonus, no, ang suggestion ko dyan, instead of mag-enjoy muna tayo, no, mas tipid muna tayo, di ba? Mas bayaran muna natin yung mga debts natin. Kasi kung sabi natin, no, kung isipin nyo, no, syempre, sabi nyo, di ba, ang very malaking impact talaga yung pag may utang ka, di ba? Hindi ka makakatulog na maayos, di ba? Yung mental health talaga, di ba? So, for me, ano talaga, no, ang pinaka-goal talaga natin, no, maging debt-free, di ba? Yung ngayon lagi sinasabi yung chikitan.
Tsaka small steps palagi. Mini goals.
Yeah, mini goals. I think
Parang
also
hindi ka
baka,
ma-overwhelm.
yeah, I think
baka
also
ma-overwhelm.
parang the other thing, if you're getting demotivated, is really, I like what Enery said na parang looking at it as a journey. Na parang siguro na hindi naman siya kaagad masosolve in 3 months, in 6 months. I mean, I don't know, 'di ba? Depende naman talaga yan sa utang na malaki siya. But as long as you are chipping away, na parang you focus na lang siguro on the progress na parang bumababa siya kahit papaano. And parang at least focus on the small wins, make it small, parang celebrate those small wins para at least you feel good about yourself kahit hindi ka naka-enjoy ng fun, but at least you celebrate yourself. I think I remember meron din yung celebrating ng small wins parang sinasabi, so what can we afford? Sabi ng isang team kasi kuwari, nahirapan sila to win some projects during this pandemic. Kasi, I mean, pandemic, di ba? Business has been challenging. So, sana, okay, sige, to motivate us, so kahit parang yung project siguro 20,000 lang, sinabi na lang niya, okay, sige, so let's celebrate. Paano ba tayo magse-celebrate? 20,000 lang. Hindi naman tayo pwedeng mag-McDo or mag-Jollibee kasi pag nag-ano tayo, ubos yung profit. Para wala lang din. So, sana, alam ko na, yema, as in, isang perasong yema. So, parang, I guess in a way, I found that story funny kasi parang sana, okay, if all we can afford right now to celebrate those small wins is yema, let's celebrate it with yema or whatever small candy or whatever na that we associate it lang para we can celebrate the wins
Win pa
and
rin.
feel motivated, 'di ba? To that okay, may nangyari, may progress tayo kahit paano.
Agree. And I like then what you said, Enery, about having a financial accountability partner. You know, having someone that you can really sound off and be truthful about. Oh, you know, I'm in such bad debt. Kasi I noticed that with myself also when I'm feeling a little cash strapped, nahiya ako to tell anyone. So it's good to sound off with someone. Then, you know,
Yes.
okay, this is what you can do. Medyo bawasan mo yung pag-Starbucks mo, bawasan mo yung pag-coffee mo, ganon. And someone that's reminding you, kasi minsan like we're human. We falter. So it's
Yeah.
good to have someone that's just like also minding.
Yeah, I love that also, having that accountability partner. Kasi parang minsan nahihiya tayo or najajahe tayo to talk about it because that wasn't a set expectations of the relationship. Pero kung let's say I ask permission, let's say, Kat, pwede bang ikaw yung financial accountability partner ko? And then if Kat agrees, then parang there's like some verbal agreement. So when I raise issues to Kat is in a way given permission na to feedback to me ano, objectively. Tapos hindi ako ma-offend, ako humingi ng tulong Kasi baka minsan yung friends natin, kala ko ba nahihirapan ka sa ano mo, ang dami mong utang, bakit bili ka ng bili, tapos ma-offend tayo, di ba? So, it's good to have that accountability partner. It's a bit clear, di ba? Na ito
Yes.
meron tayong ganitong relationship pwede akong comment sa'yo.
Ang hindi meaning ng financial accountability partner na pwede ka umutang sa kanya. Baka iisipin nila, mag-uutang ako sa kanya. Ay, nako. You know what, Enery, the holidays are coming up, and syempre some of us, for those that are lucky, may have gotten already their bonuses. May mga tao rin na, hindi pa kaya. Some businesses hindi pa kaya. So it's absolutely okay. So how can we be more mindful of our expenses during this time of the year?
For me, babreak ulit tayo sa budget, no? Diba? So you have to set a budget, diba? Kuya, may 30th month na tayo, diba? Christmas bonus, diba? May mga performance bonus pa, no? Diba? Lalo sa, ang for me, yun nga, so kuya, ang budget po kasi, for example, dito sa, for Christmas gifts, no? So, ang budget naman, no, kahit naman any event siya, di ba? For example, for birthday party, for wedding, di ba? Or mga debut, no? So, syempre, dapat mag-set tayo ng budget. For example, 10,000, di ba? Ang maganda kasi dito sa budget, no? Di ba? You put a name in everything na, di ba? So, for example, 10,000 na dito, no? For your Christmas, no? For your Christmas gift. So, ang catch kasi dyan, kung mag-under the budget ka, okay lang. Pero yung mag-over the budget, yun yung mahirap. Kasi pag nag-over the budget tayo, no? Matatamaan yung iba, di ba? Yung other, sabi natin, no? For example, yung mga fund or yung future fund natin, di ba? So ayaw naman natin sila tamaan eh. So ang suggestion ko lang, for example, medyo tight talaga, no? We can be creative din, no? Lalo right now, di ba? So, mas maganda right now yung iba, mga tawag ito, DIY, mga DIY gifts, di ba? Yung mga mas personalized pa, no? Ako din personally, no, share ko lang din. Ako, magbibigay ako sa mga clients ko no, sa Sun Life, personalized na gift para mas ma-appreciate nila, di ba? Ako, I'm not a gift person, no, pero since din, no, since, di ba, siyempre, as a business, di ba, gusto din natin, mag-give back, di ba, for trusting us. And syempre, mas ma-appreciate din nila, no, kasi syempre, customized, compared sa bili ka lang ng online, di ba? Di naman, kahit sino pwede gawin yun. So, yun yung suggestion ko, di ba? Be creative din. Para mas lalo na, mga DIY, mas cheaper yun in the first place compared sa, buying stuff online.
Grabe. So those that are thinking about their Christmas gift, there are a lot of creative ways for you to save pa rin and
Yes.
and be more mindful of your finances during this time. So let's get into the habit of saving or really also kind of living below our means as
Below
much
your
as
means.
possible.
Yes.
And just like that, Enery, an
Bilis.
hour passed by with Money
Bilis
Matters
ng
talaga.
oras.
It's a really beautiful conversation, and we're really grateful to all those that have been watching and been enjoying this conversation so far. We talked about all things personal finance, and we learned about how money and mental health are also connected and ways to get started with investing, having passive income. We learned a lot of great acronyms like FAIL from Enery.
And
How about you, Dar? What
fire.
are and fire, diba? What are your
Fire.
favorite
Fail and fire.
takeaways from this session?
I think one of my favorite takeaways is really don't invest in something that you don't understand. So, kasi parang, I think it's a reminder for all of us na parang, sinasabi kasi, minsan may complaints na parang, gusto ko mag-invest pero I don't know how, 'di ba? That's a common complaint. Or parang, I wanna be more, I want to be better in managing money. That's a complaint na sinasabi natin about ourselves, but we don't do something about it. So I think that's the best reminder for this session na parang if you know you don't know, then I guess make some effort to do something about it, to learn more about it so that you will know a bit. And then that's where you, I guess, fail, learn, and then be better the next time around. So there, that's for me. How about you, Kat? Any what's your biggest takeaway?
Ay, ayoko na ng fun. Gusto ko na rin ng, ng
Future
retirement,
fund,
future fund.
retirement fund.
Fun.
Ano,
And also having
retire
that
early, 'di ba?
accountability
Fire, financial independence, retire early.
early. Yeah,
Perfect.
yun yung goal natin. Yung natutulog tayo,
Oo,
we're still earning money. Yun yung
correct.
pinaka-goal.
Definitely,
And
definitely.
hahanap na nga ako bukas ng financial accountability. Parang mas mahirap pa yun sa ano. Someone said,
Yeah.
Nina said, being an accountability partner takes a lot of courage. And it does. It's hard to get started in talking about
Mm-mm.
your financial well-being as much as you also have concerns as well of talking about your mental health because it's very personal stuff. And we didn't, like what Darren and I were saying, hindi natin kinalakihan na, you openly talk about
Yeah,
finances.
correct, correct.
There are really going to be days and maybe even months that you don't have the provision, you don't because of things that don't go our way, the pandemic, you lose your job, etc. So we have to also practice that kindness towards ourselves, learn na okay, it does happen, it's completely normal, but listen to experts like si Enery. If you guys want to follow him or follow their group, it's Financial Literacy
PH.
PH. You can
Yes.
learn more, and it's a journey. It's really a journey. You don't
Yes.
I want to say don't worry about it. It really is. It's hard, but
It's hard,
take
it's hard,
it step by
yes.
step.
Yeah. I think yun nga, perfect nga, sa accountability partner, whether it comes from mental health, goals, finance, 'di ba? It's really important to have access or to talk to experts. So, kasi nakakailang sa friends, sa family, minsan to talk about whether it's mental health, finance, minsan goals. Kasi parang there's really that fear of being judged or fear na parang what if I fail, what if hindi pala to, or they feel that ganito, and this and that. So, I think it's very important. That's why we surround ourselves with experts For mental health, we had experts from MindNation. For finance, right now we have Enery, so join the group. So, and then for us, syempre, kinuna ko rin sarili namin, please do join You Got This PH so we can talk about more about journaling and goal setting as we want to move forward in 2022 and talk about dream empowerment even further. So, Enery, do you have any final words to our community?
Siguro ano 'no, aside from joining 'no, ang mashi-share ko lang 'no is, yeah, you have to ano 'no, invest in yourself ano. Ang maganda right now 'no, sabi ko nga for example yung mga ₱50 or mga $1 lang na investment. So everything is online naman, 'di ba? Sakto,
Yes.
you don't need to go out na 'no, siyempre sa safety na natin. So actually wala ng excuse, eh. Lahat naman everything is already online 'no. So ako yung mga shine-share ko right now, pinag-aralan ko lang siya myself no last years, since naging financial advisor ako 'no. So kung kaya ko, kayang-kaya niyo din, 'di ba? So yun lang din. Thank you guys.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us, Enery, and thanks to everyone joined us today. Remember, if you, I'm going to plug it just one more time. But if you are experiencing a feeling of overwhelm with mental health concerns because of your finances, MindNation is here for you 24/7. Reach out to us today. We can talk to a psychologist or a well-being coach at bit.ly/mn-chat or email us at book@mindnation.com to book a session. Thank you so much to all our partners. Again, thank you, Enery, for tonight's event. Have an amazing night and let's dream for better financial well-being. Thank you.
Yes. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Thank
Good
you.
night,
Mar.
Night everyone.
everyone. Thank you, Enery.
Thank you.